In the final stage of any e-commerce strategy, we have to face the cold, hard numbers. You can be the best Google Ads expert alive, but if the business economics don't work, no campaign can save you. In e-commerce, every dollar is a battle between your margins and your expenses, and the real metric that decides success is ROAS, not the number of orders. Professionals know that profitability depends entirely on gross margin. Let's take a simple case study. Selling premium oversized t-shirts. Say your selling price is $15 and your manufacturing cost is $5. That gives you a $10 margin. Looks healthy until you factor in the hidden expenses. Shipping, $2. Packaging, $0.50. Taxes plus payment gateway fees, $1. Agency management fees, $1. Your real margin is now $5.50 before ads. If your Google Ads CPA is $4, your profit per order is just $1.50. One return wipes out the profit from 5 successful sales. Now add the biggest killer of Indian e-commerce, RTO, return to origin. Cod orders can have 20-30% RTO. These are people who order but refuse delivery. You pay for the ad, you pay for shipping, the order returns, and the money burns. This is where I often step in as a business consultant. Many clients come to me saying, I need a free dollar lead cost to be profitable. But when I look at their numbers, the real problem is the product price. If your t-shirt is $12, you simply can't compete in an expensive auction. So I tell them, raise the price to $18. That extra $6 creates a buffer, room to bid higher, attract better traffic, and maintain a strong 3.5x to 4x ROAS. You shift from selling on price to selling on value. If a client is scared to raise prices, they're basically asking you to perform a miracle in a competitive auction. Next comes payment logic. To scale profitably, you must reduce RTO. The solution? Push customers toward prepaid orders. Prepaid has almost zero RTO, and you can encourage it with small incentives, 5% off, free shipping, or a small bonus gift. This stabilizes cash flow and allows you to scale Google Ads confidently. The truth is simple. E-commerce is a margin game, not a traffic game. When you sit with a brand, don't just talk keywords. Ask about their shipping costs, return rates, margins, manufacturing, and overheads. Because when you understand these numbers deeply, you stop being the ads guy and you become a real partner who builds profitable businesses. When you inspect a website's backend, tracking often looks fragmented, but in modern Google architecture, everything is built on GTAG.js, Global Site Tag. Think of it as a unified event dispatcher that standardizes how data is sent across Google products. You'll typically see different ID prefixes, GXXXX, Google Analytics 4, GA4, Measurement ID, AWXXXX, Google Ads Conversion, Remarketing ID. The key concept, GTAG.js, is a shared framework, not separate systems. If GA4 is already deployed, you can link Google Ads directly to that data stream. No need to install redundant scripts. This reduces payload size, prevents duplicate firing, and ensures data consistency across attribution layers. You must audit and classify, remove deprecated tags, e.g. UA, retain critical tags, e.g. AW for remarketing if not linked, consolidate tracking under a single GTM container or GTAG setup. The goal is clean, deduplicated event flow. Bottom line, understanding GTAG.js isn't just implementation, it's data governance. You're protecting attribution accuracy, budget efficiency, and algorithmic decision making. When you audit a client's website, your first move should always be opening Google Tag Assistant Legacy. This tool tells you the truth about your tracking setup, but only if you understand its color-coded stoplight system. Let's break it down simply. Green is the gold standard. It means your tracking code is installed exactly how Google recommends, usually hard-coded of the site, clean, stable, and reliable. Next is blue, and this is where most beginners panic. Here's the truth. Blue is not a problem. In most professional setups, blue simply means your tags are firing through Google Tag Manager (GTM) instead of being directly installed on the site. Google labels this as non-standard, but in reality, it's extremely common and completely fine. If your data is flowing correctly, blue and healthy. Now we move into the danger zone, yellow and red. A yellow tag often signals duplicate tracking. This usually happens when someone installs the same GA4 tag twice, once manually and once through GTM. The result, page views get counted twice. Traffic appears inflated. Bounce rate can drop to near 0%. At that point, your data becomes unreliable. And if your data is broken, your optimization is broken too. Another issue to look for is legacy conflicts. Many older sites still have Universal Analytics (UA) tags, those codes starting with UA. Now, let's talk strategy. You have two approaches: manual installation, green, more stable and traditional; GTM setup, blue, faster, flexible, and scalable. In high-level marketing environments, most teams choose the blue path. Why? Because GTM gives you control. You can launch, edit, and test tracking without relying on developers. Once your tracking is clean and your data is trustworthy, you're ready for the next level. In the world of e-commerce, standard remarketing isn't enough. You don't want to show a generic ad to someone who looked at a specific pair of red Nike shoes. You want to show them those exact shoes. This is called retail remarketing, and it is the most common place where technical tracking fails. The most frequent error we see in the Tag Assistant is a failure in dynamic parameter replacement. For retail remarketing to work, your website must send 3 specific pieces of data back to Google Ads. 1. Event name. 2. Product ID. 3. Total value. Most beginners install the remarketing tag but fail to map the variables correctly in Google Tag Manager. The Google AI sees that a user visited your site but it has no idea what they were looking at or how much it was worth. Without this, your dynamic ads will simply default to a generic image and your conversion rate will plummet. This brings us to a strategic trap, the manual data pool. I've seen agency owners who say, we don't need to link our CRM to Google Ads. We manually pull the lead data every Friday and check it against our sales sheet. This is a disastrous practice. By the time you manually check that data on Friday, the Google Ads AI has spent thousands of dollars searching for more bad leads. If you are on WordPress or Shopify, you can often fix these parameter errors using specialized plugins like GTM4WP. These plugins automatically build a data layer that pushes the product ID and price to GTM. Your job as a premium marketer isn't to write the code, but to verify that the data layer is active and that the GTM variables are correctly picking up those values. Debugging retail failures is about moving from generic to dynamic. Once your parameters are green and your data is flowing, you have moved from being an advertiser to being a data architect. Stay tuned for more episodes. Subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon so that you get notified for the next one.